The last session, we have discussed dimensional array. In the two-dimensional array, elements will be stored in both rows and columns. In both rows and columns, the arrays usually store homogeneous type of data, nothing but type of data in contiguous memory location. We have given to it allocate the memory. Drawbacks or disadvantages of array, what we can say is, first we are going to be allocate the size for array. How much of size we are allocating for the array? How much of size we are allocating for the array? Let's suppose I have given the size of the array is 5. During compilation, the size for the array will be allocated. During compilation, the size will be allocated. See, now, when we are uh, that array, if you want to increase the size of array, which would not be possible, That means dynamic growth is not available. Dynamically cannot able to grow its size. Suppose I have declared the array size as 50. In that I have only 10 elements. Remaining 40 characters base will be waste only. We cannot use it for other purpose. Dynamic growth based on our requirement, it has to be grow its size innocent if possible. Memory or else during compilation allocate the size of the array. It cannot able to size. Different types of arrays we have. One-dimensional array, two-dimensional array. If it is a one-dimensional array, the elements either in row or in column, but not in both. Either in row or in column, but not in both. What are the applications we can able to implement by using one-dimensional array? That is stack to or the data structures for organizing the data in some particular format. The application stack we implemented using one-dimensional array. Syntax for declaring one-dimensional array. The syntax for declaring one-dimensional array. Data type, new data type size. Whatever it may be the size, it is going to be allocated that size. It is going to be allocated that size. If you see here, this is an example in of this one in A of array name I have provided new int of 5. It means the array size is 5. The indexing of the array will be starts from 0 till the size minus 1. As per this particular example, we have the array size 5. We are going to get the array elements starting to we have the size is 5. 5 minus 1, 4. Till we are going to get the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. How much of memory this array will occupy? How much of memory this array will occupy? Number of elements or the size of array into default size of data type. Number of elements or size of array default size of data type. Number of elements in a sense. Now we have declared the array size 5. Now we have declared the array size 5. 5 elements stored into the array. 5 elements is going to store into the array. Okay, fine. It's going to put the elements into the array as 5. Because the size of the array is 5. Because the size of array is 5. Total it is going to store 5 elements in the array. It is going to store 5 elements in the array. Total memory occupied by the array, size of the array, or number of elements or size of data type. See, As per this example, array size is 5. Array size is 5. It will store 5 elements into the array. Follows. As we have declared the array with the type as we have declared the array with the type integer. For 5 integer values, we allow here to store. 5 integer values we allow to store. Total, how much of memory occupied by this particular array? 5 elements. Those are integer elements. Default size of integer is 4 bytes. Default size of integer is 4 bytes. Because of that, 5 into 4, 20 bytes of memory it is going to occupy. If you want to initialize the elements to the array, we have two ways. Initializing the elements into the array, we have two ways. We'll see with the example. One is static initialization and the other one is dynamic initialization. One is static initialization and the other one is dynamic initialization. So with static initialization, in a sense, we are going to be initialize the value in the program itself. We are going to be initialize the value in the program itself. If we say dynamic initialization, during execution of the program, we are providing the values. The execution of the program, we are providing the values. How we are going to be initialized? We see that both static initialization is also called as compile time initialization. Static initialization is also called as compile time initialization. Dynamic initialization is also called as no response runtime initialization. One dimensional first the array. I am declaring the array of ARR is a size new in we are giving the size over here. Size I am giving as 5. This is the array declaration. Declaration of one dimensional array. Declaration of one dimensional array. See, total here 5 elements be allocated. Total 5 elements space it is. Now, if you see of this array will be ARR of ARR1, ARR2, ARR3, 4. Till that it is going to be accept the values. Now, see directly static initialization or compile time initialization, static initialization or compile time initialization. ARR of 0 position, I'll be storing the element as 10. Element is 10. ARR of 1 position, I'll be storing 20. ARR of 2 position, 30. 3 position, I'll be storing 40. 4 position, 50. These are the elements have initialized stored into the array. Now, I am going to be display the elements from the array. By using the for loop, we are going to display the elements in the array. So, we have to move the position from 0 to 4. For that particular purpose, we are using the for loop. See, first I'll write SOP statement. So, elements in the array are, so here for loop I'm writing I is 0, I less than 5 is the array size. It is going to be accept the element. So I is the variable we didn't declare. So I am going to be declare the I variable here. Okay, now fine. Here system.out.println, we are displaying the ARR of I position element. And after that, I need to give some space. So because of that only, we'll be giving the space out here. We'll be giving the space. See, now I value is 0. I value is 0 here. I value is 0. 0 less than 5, the condition is 0 less than 5, the condition is true. When it is true, system.out.print, I didn't give an ln here. I didn't give ln here. System.out.print ARR of 1. Sorry, ARR of 0. What value we have stored into ARR of 0? 10. That value print. So then there is no statement we have in the for loop to execute. Because of that, it will goes here and it will increments the value of I. It will increments the value of I. So it will becomes as 1. 1 less than 5, the condition is 2. So again, here system.out.println, by using this, it is going to be print the element what we have there are of one position. That element it will and it will repeat the loop until the I value becomes 5. I value is 5 innocent. ARR of 5, we don't have any array over there, any element in that particular position. Because of that, the condition will be 4 till 4 only is going to execute. And 30, 40, if we display the element, so it is display the element. Now, if I would like to add all the elements what we have in array, I would like to add all the in an array. Generally, how we are going to add value n plus b, n1 plus n2. So now here, already sum has to be and then the first position value has to be added to the sum. One position value has to be added like that. So here int already we have variable I, some I'm initializing with the 0, some I'm initializing with 0. Now if you have initialized some with 0, what will happen here? Adding all elements of array. In for loop I is 0. Again here till 4 we have to access all the elements. Some additional assignment to ARR of I position. So how it is going to be evaluated? Sum is equals to sum plus ARR of I position. It is evaluated. Initially we have the sum value as 0. Then ARR of 0 position have 10. So 10 will be added to the sum. 0 plus 10. That is assigned to the sum variable. Now the 10 is available in the sum variable. Next, the loop is repeated. ARR position will becomes as 1. 1. The 1 position we have to already. What is the sum value we have? 10. 10 plus will be 30. This loop will be repeat and it will add all the elements. Finally, if I want to print some of the elements in the array, some of the elements in the array. So finally, some value 10 plus 30, 30 plus 30, 40, 150. We need to get this result as 150. Here we are getting in the same line, right? So because we don't have ln over here, So simply I'll write SOP statement without anything. It will make one line. So one line. So the router, I didn't write anything. As I didn't write anything there, it is going to be make the control to enter into the new line. If any content is there, it will finish the content and the control will come to the new line. I didn't write any content out there. That outer println have it come out, come out. Like this, we can able to add the elements. Uh, uh, what are the elements have in the array? Any doubt in this? Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay. It is not clear.
It is clear, sir.
Okay, fine. So dynamically accept the elements. Dynamically will accept the elements. This is static initialization. Don't want to accept statically, making it as a comment. Enter the elements into the array. So for accepting the elements into the array, first we need the scanner class. Enter the elements into array. So for that we need a scanner class, scanner sc, new scanner system.in. So I'll be taking utility package here. Enter 5 elements. So already we have defined array 5. Because of that, we are asked to enter 5 elements to array. Enter 5 elements to array. We are asked to enter 5 elements in loop. I is 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Where will be getting ARR of I position will be getting sc dot next int. We are adding all the integer values. Adding all the values. It is going to be add all the elements and it is going to be displayed. If you want some also, it is going to be get here in the same example. This is the only code I have changed for taking the elements into the array dynamically. Array dynamically. If I execute this, enter 5 elements into array. Enter 5 elements into array. So 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. So elements in the array are we have here 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, and some of the elements in the array is 165. Dynamically, we are accepting. That is what we can say as. Dynamic initialization or compile time initialization. Dynamic initialization or compile time initialization. So what I'm see here. This is a example. We can able to initialize the elements into the array, compile time, and as well as runtime. That is dynamically. Dynamically, how we can able to initialize the elements of the array and printing the elements, as well adding all the elements of array. Next we have two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array. What is two-dimensional array? Next type of array we have is two-dimensional array. The elements will be stored in both rows and as well as columns. The elements will be stored in both rows and columns. The application, what we can see for two-dimensional array matrix. The application, what we can see for this two-dimensional array matrix. As for declaring the syntax for declaration of two-dimensional array. Data type, array name, data type, array name. This is one dimension, this is another dimension. Two dimensions we have to provide. One is a row and the other one is column. One is row and the other one is column. New data type, row size, column size. See, we have to represent the row size and as well as column size. See, in this example, if the array we are considering as B, array name is B, new in these are dimensions. This is one dimension, this is the other dimension. So in this dimension will be considered row size and this will be considered column size. The number of rows here is 3 and number of columns we have 2. Indexing either for row or column also will be start from row. So the number of rows is 3 we have. The number of rows is 3 we have. How many number of what will be the indexing of this we can ask? So 1 1 number of columns we have the indexing of columns is 0 1. See how many elements will be stored into the array. How many elements will be stored into the array? That will be represents number of rows into number of columns. Number of rows into number of columns. That many number of elements into the array. As per this example, where we have the and column size, where we have the row size is 3 and the column size. Because of that, number of rows is 3, number of columns 3 into total of 6 elements is stored into the array. Elements will be stored into array. How much of memory the array occupy? How much of memory the array will occupy? The number of elements can store into the array into default size of data type. Number of elements can store into array into default size of data type. Number of elements we can able to store into the array is number of elements can store into array is 6 elements. Default size of the integer data type is 4 bytes. Into 4, 24 bytes of memory is occupied. For 24 bytes of memory it is. Now we will see the example how we will initialize the element of the array and we can able to see the how we can able to get the elements from the array. This is the array P, where we have the row size as 3 and column size. We are having 3 rows, columns. So we have in this 3 rows and columns. We have columns, 3 rows. Okay. See this is B of 0 0. This is B of 0 1. This is B of 1 0 1 1 0 2 1. These respective positions we are going to be store the elements into the in this respective position we are storing the elements now. First static initialization, then we'll go with dynamic initialization as well. Dimension array demo. Static initialization. Let me consider in array declaration. Dimensional array declaration. Dimensional array declaration. Dimensional array plus in B, where we have 2 dimensions. New one is 3 and the other one is 2. One is 3 and the other one is 2. Okay. Now I need there are 2 variables. One is for varying the rows and other for varying the column size. The two variables I'll be considered I and j. It will be used for, uh, we'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this later. See, this is the array we have declared. Now we are going to initialize the elements into the array statically. There is static initialization or compile time initialization. The b of 0, 0, b of 0, 0 will be having, let me consider 10, b of 0, 1, 0, 1, I'll be giving as b of 1, 0, 30, 40, 2, 0, b of 2, 1 will be having this element. Statically we have initialized. Now we have to display the elements in the array. What we have in the array. Displaying elements from array. Here we have rows as well as columns. We have used variables in the for loop. Nested for loop we have to use. Nested for loop we have to use. For loop process. Inside one loop we have to use another one loop. We have to use another loop. One is for varying the rows and the other one is for varying the columns. That we are going to be uh, declare now. For I is 0, I less than 3. This is for varying the row size. I plus plus. For j is 0, j less than 2, j plus plus. So this is for varying the column position. The I and j variables I didn't declare. I'm going to be declare I and j variables with the integer. Now there is no error. And if you see system.out.println. So println if you have here, it is the element in the new line. Of ij. After completion of one column, we have to store the elements. Sorry, row wise we are going to be the element. Because of that, we need to use the space in between the elements. So I have given this. After completion of one row, going to be entered into the new row. So for that particular purpose, I'm using that of element. Okay. See here, just to get after completion of one row, if you want to get in the new line, if you want to get in the line, we are going to use system.out.println. If I'm not using this, what will happen is, see, I'll execute this. These are the elements. We don't know what it is. So because I didn't write any system.out.println statement to represent this data is also elements the array. Elements in the array. Now you see elements in the array. Then 34. I'm not writing this particular statement. If I'm not writing this particular statement, 10 space 30, 40 space 60, 10 space 20, 30, 40 space 60. I want to display this in the form of array. Because of that, I have written this system.out.println. So we are getting 10, 20, 30, 40. So dynamically we'll accept the size and will store the elements. For accepting the row size, I'll be taking row. For accepting the column size, I'll be taking the variable as column. This I need to get before the array declaration. So first I'll be writing scanner class here. So where I want to get everything dynamically, sc new scanner system.in, new scanner system.in. So I'm importing the package java.etil package, and now in row comma column system.out.println, where we should ask the enter rows columns. We'll ask enter the row size and column size dynamically. Enter the row size and column size of the array. So we are going to be stored into the array sc.nextInt. Column is sc.nextInt. Now this is array declaration. Here I'll be taking the row size. Here I'll be taking row and column. Then only it will accept. And we have to ask how many elements to be entered. So this static initialization content I'll be keeping in comment. Enter enter. So here how many elements we have to enter. We should know about it. How many elements we have to enter. We should know about it. So here I'll be keeping row into column. So then one will ask us to enter. Next, enter elements into array. Many elements into the array. For accepting, again we have to use the shell loop. For I is 0, I less than row, I plus plus. For varying the column position, A is 0, A less than column, A plus plus. Sorry. Increment also used, not a problem. Not a problem. E of I in the for loop it doesn't use I j c dot next in where accepting the element. See first how this nested loop is going to be work. How this nested loop is going to be work. I is 0, I 0, I less than row. I is 0, I less than row size. If this condition is true, then it will enter into the inner for loop. In inner for loop, again we have variable initialization. 0 is initialized, 0 is initialized to j, and the column, I mean j value is less than the column, then the condition will be true. If the condition is true, we are accepting the integer value with the help of next int, and that value is going to be stored into the IZ. That value, the IZ. The IZ based on this value, whatever may be the position, it is going to be stored in it. Then J value will be incremented. Again, it is going to be checked with the condition. If the condition is, then again it accept the element. Till one row it will complete. After the condition fails one, it will comes out this. So here again we are checking the condition. If this condition is true, we are going to be get here again. This is used for accepting the elements into the array dynamically, and we are going to be that store the elements and display it. So I'm giving the row size as 4 and the column size is 5. Total elements we have to enter into the array. Enter 20 elements. Enter 20 elements in the array. See here, 20 elements. I think I'll be entering the numbers. It is going to be display all the elements in the matrix form here. If you see how many rows we have, sorry, we are getting wrong. So we are getting the output here. We are getting the output here, but the output is not our expected one. So I have taken the elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 20. All the elements I need to put here, but 3 rows only we are getting. Totally, how many rows we have entered? How many rows we have entered here? 4 rows and 5 columns. It has to be displayed, but we are getting only 3 rows and 2 columns. There is some logic mistake in our program. So I didn't change the row position and as well as column position here. So because of that, we are getting an unexpected result. 4 rows, 5 columns. Rows and 5 columns data it is wait for us. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, 5 columns of data. 4 rows, 5. Good space like a matrix. It is going to be displayed for us. I'll show you that. Four rows, 5 columns. So we'll be having like some more. Any doubt in this?
No, sir.